In ancient Rome, the gladiators went into the arena with these words on their lips: "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt." Today, all of you young athletes are in the arena. Many of you will win, but even more important, I know you will be brave and bring credit to your parents and to your country. Let us begin the Olympics. Thank you.
On July 20th, 1968, the first ever Special Olympics Summer Games were held in Chicago, Illinois. That day, Soldier Field had 200 events for 1,000 athletes who showcased their incredible talents for the whole world to see. Now, over 50 years later, the spirit of the Summer Games has grown to unprecedented levels. Today, more than 5 million athletes train and compete in more than 100,000 events each year in 172 different nations. Many of those athletes competed at St. Thomas University in June for the Summer Games 2019. We interviewed these athletes, along with coaches and volunteers. And today, we'd like to share the strength, sportsmanship, and community that is the Summer Games.
We are here at the University of St. Thomas for Special Olympics Minnesota 2019. Over 3,600 athletes and over 2,200 volunteers have come together to make this event possible. Man, we are so excited to be here. Let's take a look.
My favorite event at Summer Games is definitely track and field. My favorite event is track and field because of just the wide variety of abilities that you see on the track. We have everything from a 10-meter walk to a 1,500-meter run. So to be able to see all of our athletes just truly compete at their best ability is the best part of my job.
We saw one of the first races here, and I mean, they were just so excited to run around the track. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is a premier event. This is one of our biggest state games that we hold every year. And so with the culmination of with everything, all the events, track and field, swimming, basketball, and gymnastics, this is an event that everyone looks forward to and really trains really hard to showcase their abilities rather than disabilities.
Hi, my name is Shawn. What's your name?
Kirsten.
And Kirsten, what's your event?
I just got done with the 200-meter walk, and now I'll be starting I'll be starting the 100-meter walk.
And what do you like about your event?
I like how I can walk nice and fast, and I like hanging out with my friends.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you.
From the 800-meter run to the 200-meter walk and even the shot put, it's clear that track and field offers a wide variety of events for athletes of all different experience levels. We talked to Emily Garness, the track and field senior program manager, to see what goes into planning an event like the Summer Games and what she enjoys most about working with the Special Olympics Minnesota.
So what does your job entail as being the program manager of Special Olympics?
Yes, this weekend, my job entails taking lead on all of the track events happening today. So my team and I, my fantastic team and I, we have done everything from the prep of this event to setup to the execution that you see here today.
And why is the Special Olympics and Summer Games in particular important to you, in your opinion?
Summer Games is important to me because it brings everybody together. We have teams from around the state who have practiced and competed and qualified at an area level, and then they come here to state to compete against athletes, unified partners from all over the state, and it's just super awesome.
And what's your favorite part about the Summer Games?
Oh my gosh, my favorite part about Summer Games, man, so much. seeing everybody together, from the athletes and coaches who have come out again from around the state to compete, seeing teams from southern Minnesota play against teams from northern Minnesota who have never, maybe had the chance to play against each other before, compete, seeing all of the volunteers come out. It's so fabulous to just see the good in the world, and summer games, you just see so much good in the world with all the volunteers that come out.
Coming up, basketball, right here at the Summer Games.
Have you been affiliated with Special Olympics?
I've been affiliated for about 3-4 years now. I've been a coach for 2, and it's been wonderful to witness some of the growth with a lot of the kids in multiple sports.
The Summer Games offers both full court and half court competitive events for athletes. They also play individual skills and unified skills throughout the games. However, it was not always like this. In fact, in 1968, when they first started the Summer Games, basketball was not one of the first 3 official sports. Luckily, it was such a popular event that it was soon adopted, and now it is one of the most popular sports worldwide within the Special Olympics Summer Games. We had the chance to talk to Dalton Sturdivant, a coach with the St. Paul Magic, about his experience with basketball and the Summer Games.
How have your athletes taken to the game of basketball? What growth have you seen in them?
I've just watched them grow from not knowing much about basketball to, getting back on defense, doing the little intangible things that you really can't teach kids. It's just something that they grow into and they seem to enjoy, and they love it. They love it. The smile on the face is what makes it all worth it.
And so if you had to tell someone in the public, someone that didn't know anything about Special Olympics, to get them to get involved, what would you say to them?
I would tell them to come to the Summer Games. This is the best place to experience multiple sports and the happiness of the athletes just competing and their families supporting them and coaches, and we got police and everything around here. This is the best environment to experience what it means to Minnesota for Special Olympics.
Coming up, swimming, right here at the Summer Games.
What is it that you enjoy about swimming?
It works your whole body and it's just relaxing and fun.
With over 20 different events in swimming alone, there is never a dull moment in the action. We talked to 2 different swimmers, Nell and Andrea, who both participate in the Summer Games, and asked them about their experiences and what they enjoyed most about swimming.
So tell me what you like about swimming.
Swimming is exercising. It helps me to get more pumped, more energizing. I love it very much.
Tell me what it is that you like about being involved with Special Olympics.
I have been doing Special Olympics for 23 years. I like Special Olympics because I like to meet new people, and if they ask me how I did, I'll shake their hands, be nicely, and be friendly.
And how long have you been working as an ambassador?
For the last 13 years.
And what's been rewarding about that? What do you enjoy about being an ambassador?
Helping change lives for the better for other athletes.
And so, where do you think Special Olympics Minnesota will go in the future? How do you think it will help in the future?
I think it's just going to keep helping transform lives and make other athletes healthier.
And what's your favorite part about the Summer Games?
Just seeing everybody and being out there and being active.
Coming up, we visit the Healthy Athlete Clinics that are held right here at the Summer Games. In addition to all the athletics, games, and sites the Summer Games have to offer, one aspect of the games many are not aware of is the Healthy Athletes Clinics, which are offered to every athlete who participates in the games. For more details, we sat down with Katie Howlett, the Marketing and Communications Specialist with Special Olympics Minnesota.
Okay, so we saw some of the health screenings that were going on here today. Can you expound on that and tell us a little bit about what's going on and how that ties in?
For sure. So Special Olympics offers healthy athlete screenings. It's a program that offers free screenings to our athletes. We do it at 5 of our events every year, and we do it in 5 different disciplines. And basically the idea behind it is to offer free and fun screenings for our athletes, and also educate health professionals who are our volunteers to treat people with intellectual disabilities.
And so, all right, then there's a very cool component to that for athletes that do a certain number of health screenings. What do they get out of it for doing those health screenings?
Yeah, so at our Summer Games this year, when our athletes go through 3 of our health screenings, they get a free pair of shoes. And it's fitted to their size. They get to go home with it.
And for persons with developmental disabilities, why is it so important, so critical for them to get health screenings?
Yeah, so on average, people with intellectual disabilities die 16 years sooner than people without intellectual disabilities. And that has nothing to do with their disability. It's not a side effect. It's because they lack good care or good education. So really our goal in this is to make our health systems more inclusive. And we do that by offering these free screenings to our athletes, and like I said, educating healthcare professionals to interact with people with disabilities.
Coming up, we interview Dave Dorn, President and CEO of Special Olympics Minnesota. Before the day came to an end, we got the chance to interview the CEO and president of Special Olympics Minnesota, Dave Dorn.
How long have you been with Special Olympics and why did you join?
So I've been with Special Olympics 13 years. I came here actually just out of fluke, and it was my wife and I had adopted a daughter who was 11 years old at the time, and she had an intellectual disability, and we were looking for activities to get her to get involved. So by a weird set of circumstances, all of a sudden I ended up in this role. So I was a big fan when I first was introduced to it, and they happened to be looking for someone to take this role, and I ended up here, so it was great.
Tell us a little bit about the Summer Games. How long have the Summer Games been around, and how did they get started?
So, well, the Summer Games have been around since forever. So 1973 is when Special Olympics was founded here in Minnesota. 1968 is when it was founded by Eunice Kennedy Shriver, and the first World Games were held in Chicago. So Summer Games was really the first event that Special Olympics ever had, with track and field being a premier Olympic event. And what you've seen that grow to now is beyond Summer Games, and you have Fall Games, Winter Games, Spring Games. I mean, really, just here in Minnesota, we have over 100 competitions that go on all year round. So Summer Games is a big one, as we have basketball, swimming, track and field, and we just wrapped up gymnastics, all part of a great celebration here in the summertime though. So those are the three strategic pillars: youth and unified, health and wellness, and then raising the bar as far as experiences. And then our overall biggest challenge is getting the word out that that's what Special Olympics is all about. Because most people say, oh, I love Special Olympics, but they think of us as only a track and field event. And really, as you've heard, there's so much more going on.
Coming up, the Summer Games celebration ceremonies featuring the torch run. After a long day of competing, athletes, coaches, volunteers, and family head down to the football field for the final event, the celebration ceremonies.
All right, everybody, we're almost at the end of day one, and man, what an exciting day it was. You can see everybody lining up behind me, getting ready for the opening night parade. So let me stop talking. Let's head to the parade.
Athletes gather with their home cities and walk down the track as a group. everyone makes their way down the red carpet and onto the field. This year, the Summer Games were happy to welcome some special guests to celebrate with the athletes, including former Vikings players Ben Lieber and John Randall, former Twins player Joe Mauer, and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. After all the speakers finished giving their congratulations and best wishes to the athletes, it was finally time for the torch run. The flame of hope has finally reached the cauldron, symbolizing the celebration of the games. And what's a celebration without some music and dancing? The Summer Games have come a long way since that first one in Soldier Field. If today's games in Minnesota were any indication of what the future of Special Olympics holds, it's clear that the future of the Summer Games will continue to uphold sportsmanship, passion, and inclusion. And hopefully, we'll never forget to look back and remember the words of Eunice Kennedy Shriver. Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. For more information about the Summer Games and Special Olympics Minnesota, visit specialolympicsminnesota.org.